Greetings, this is Carmen Gamlin. I'm the pre-health coordinator. I want to talk to pre-health grizzlies to be able to give you a thorough introduction. If you are transferring to this school or if you are a new freshman, this particular workshop is for you. What should you know if you're a pre-health student? So first, we serve specifically those who are pre-med. We also call if your goal is to be a physician or a physical therapist, a dentist, pharmacist, or a veterinarian. All of these are pre-doctoral programs, as well as being an optometrist, physician assistant. It's a master's program, as is an occupational therapist. You could be any one of these pre-masters or pre-doctoral programs as long as it has to do with healthcare and more. And those are the different populations that we serve. There's a different office on Oakland University's campus that works with law. So knowing that you are a pre-master's or pre-doctoral student, which should feel like a promotion, there's some basics I want to make sure that you're aware of. So many of you have heard that any major is possible. Majors at Oakland University are definitely going to be from either the School of Health Sciences or the College of Arts and Sciences or any of the other schools that are available. Those professional programs such as engineering and business and education and nursing are options. They are just more and additional steps because those are professions in and of themselves and not part of the academic colleges that are most traditional. But you can get to your goal of the master's or doctoral programs from many places. Most commonly from the School of Health Sciences. For example, you might be a health science major, pre-professional, or BDTS, which stands for Biomedical Diagnostic Therapeutic Sciences, which is a mouthful. Or for any particular major, there's over 100 of them from the College of Arts and Sciences, such as biology, chemistry, psychology, sociology, history for that matter. I would like you to know that one of the Oakland University William Beaumont's OUWB admissions counselors shared that every year biology, biochem, chemistry, those are the most common. By far, biology is the most common for every medical school, by the way. And there are several different majors, but they also include anthropology, Spanish, English. And they're saying that the most common non-science major is psychology. So I encourage you to know that you can get to your master's or doctoral program in healthcare from many different majors, most often from this school or this particular college. But I will tell you that working closely with your academic advisor is one of the things that is key. You'll have, if you're a first semester student, you'll have a FIAC advisor. FIAC stands for First Year Advising Center, and they're going to help you to talk about any degree requirements for any major that you want to pursue. In addition to your FIAC advisor, you'll also have online degree works in case you want to do scenarios. What if I majored in here? What if I did a BA in this or a BS in that? Or things like that that talk about your general education requirements and if your major requirements as well, to be able to balance both of them. This is a wonderful resource that you can engage with your FIAC advisor to be able to help you. My role as the coordinator or pre-professional advising is not an academic advisor for you because our duties do not overlap. And so we work as a team to make sure that you have the most solid and successful experience as possible. So, pre-health basics. You should choose your program early. This has to do with you as a freshman or a new transfer student, or knowing that the goal that you have with your career after completing your degree from Oakland University is very important. And that if you are pre-physical therapy or pre-med or pre-podiatry, knowing that early, no matter what particular program, let's say University Detroit Mercy School of Dentistry, that they come to campus, know that you as a freshman, you as a new transfer student, not someone who's just about to apply only, you're welcome and encouraged to engage. If you know what your goal is from the summer that you graduate from high school, then you come to all of the information sessions on campus or virtual, because that particular engagement is what they want you to do as a pre-master's or pre-doctoral student. The requirements beyond your academics cannot be done in 1 year, but the goal is that you get a chance to engage early. This is in contrast to when you were probably in high school and the recruiters came to high school campuses, but only to speak to juniors and seniors. It's much different here at the university. Here at the academy, we expect freshmen, sophomore, juniors, seniors, post-bac, and graduate students to all engage when they come to recruit Oakland University pre-health Grizzlies. In addition, one of the basics you should know is you should strive for coursework, success, and balance. Yes, there'll be times in which you'll be studying alone or researching with a team or alone, but there's also time you have to do group projects. And the study skills that you've had at your previous school or high school or a previous university, if you're a transfer student, may be different than what you're going to engage here. Just like you're going to be flexible to have new study skills when you reach your master's and your doctoral program, you should also be flexible that there are different study strategies you may need here at the academy called Oakland University, and engaging with the writing center, the tutoring center, all of which are free. Engaging in your professor's office hours is to help you to have the most successful experience possible. In addition, you would want to make sure that you accept the invitation that you will get from Oakland University Pre-Health Advising. We are not spam. Our goal is to engage once a week to be able to share at least the online e-blast that we send, which is a newsletter that comes to your inbox. In addition, you'll see there are files and events and other engagement opportunities that you'll have that is digital in terms of our office. We also have events that we're advertising that you can come directly to 201 and engage as well. So we encourage you to make sure that you accept the invitation to join, or you go ahead and go to GrizzOrgs because you're an Oakland student and choose OU Pre-Professional Advising and join us so you can have access to the files and events that others have access to. What should you know if you're a pre-health student? Well, there's a lot of great things you need to know. You're going to be engaged in different types of activities. Your graduate school application starts in freshman year now, or the freshman year that you had if you were a transfer student. And people have to realize that, this includes if you've had a part-time job or a full-time job in the summer, whether it's Dairy Queen or Baskin Robbins or Burger King, any place. Those particular experiences are part of what helps to build who you are in your customer service. And so whether it's formal experiences such as this is a bus ride to one of the events that my office coordinates, or you're engaging with other activities on campus, know that not only are these activities going to be listed on your application, but a person, an address, a phone number, an email that will be verifying that yes, he or she did that. And you'll write a paragraph about how, for example, working as a team in Burger King helps me to appreciate teamwork, because I know one day when I become a veterinarian or a dentist, being a team, part of a team member is also related. And so knowing that your experiences, even if they aren't in a healthcare environment, they are still very important. And your reputation at those particular places, you want to protect it as well. So your academics, we've talked about that in terms of majors. You're going to network. You're going to have activities we're going to talk about more detail, as well as community service. So you're going to explore, network, and shadow off campus and medical settings. This makes sense. Generally speaking, we call it clinical experience, in which you have patient contact for about 3 to 5 hours a week. Your goal is to shadow a couple of medical professions in at least 2 different settings. So if you're in a hospital environment, you also want to see if you can find private practice or outpatient surgery or things like that that are not in a major teaching hospitals. When I say teaching hospital, that is usually like a large hospital such as Beaumont or Crittenton or Henry Ford, in which a physician, he or she goes from patient to patient with a whole entourage around them. A scribe, a physician assistant, medical students, going from patient to patient, which is very different than if you're in a smaller outpatient clinic. And you want to make sure that you have more than one perspective when you are getting experiences from the summer after you graduate from high school until the time that you apply. You can get paid to work or volunteer. Some programs say that you have to get paid work. Most of them say that you're flexible. Consult your pre-health advisor to be able to know for sure which one is required for your program. In addition, you're going to make sure that you have non-medical activities. Some of these non-medical activities has to do with engaging with community service. Maybe you've had that part-time job, or maybe you're going to study abroad or shadow abroad like the Atlantis program. Perhaps you're going to engage at your church, synagogue, mosque, or temple, or any type of community engagement with either seniors or children, or you're the person who's going to volunteer with a medically underserved community in a non-medical setting, such as a homeless shelter or a feeding center or a place where people can get warming shelters. I encourage all Oakland University pre-health Grizzlies to make sure that they engage, at least in part, whether it's shadowing, clinical experience, or community service, in either a rural or an urban setting. You don't only want to have experiences exclusively in the suburban areas, because then you're missing the diversity that your application needs for it to be competitive. By definition, suburban areas have access to more than rural and some urban residents have access to. So make sure your experience is diversified. You'll also make sure that you network with peers and faculty. So every semester, and I mean every single semester, make sure there is at least one faculty member that you proactively get to know. When you may have been in high school, you had teachers, and now you have professors. Your professors are the supervisors in this current industry called higher education. And it's your job as a pre-master's or pre-doctoral student to proactively get to know these faculty members, in addition to having 3 to 5 letters of recommendation from those who know you well for graduate school programs years from now. You also want to make sure that your letter of recommendation for research, for even next summer jobs, or letters of recommendation for scholarships for next semester's classes. Faculty who know you well want to be part of your success story, but they have to know who you are beyond that you just took their classes. So go pre-health Grizzlies and make sure you're utilizing office hours every semester. Pre-health Grizzlies, your transcript is like your resume for graduate school. It's going to show your multitasking ability, how you follow instructions from individual syllabi here at the university, how you manage your multiple supervisors who are called your professors, and it talks about your load, how you handle multiple sciences and honors courses. There's no part-time medical school or vet school or dentistry school. You need to make sure that you can demonstrate to eventually manage full-time science classes. That's more than one at a time, so that you can show that you're successful. Because someone can write a resume and say they're great at multitasking, but you really earn it on your transcript that goes to your graduate school. It's going to show a pattern of success Or does it show a pattern of withdrawals or repeats? Two different applicants can apply from the same institution, graduating the same time, and they may both have the same standardized test scores and the same GPA. But looking at that transcript is critical, because somebody who has a very high GPA, who has frequent semesters of taking on more responsibility but not being able to handle it, having a withdrawal, having an incomplete, and they have to do it later and withdrawal, and having several representations on that on their transcript, that says that they take on more responsibility than they can handle routinely, not one or two accidents or incidents on one's academic career, but a pattern that it frequently happens. That's not a compliment to you, and that speaks more than you can ever talk about in an interview. Your transcript is the resume that you earn. You should also know that you should be protective about your reputation. Your reputation as a student is not just on that transcript and those letters of recommendation. It goes beyond that. So you're familiar with social media. Now, social media definitely is not something to completely avoid. You should follow the different schools of which you have an interest in. Follow them on social media. That's how you network with virtual fairs, for example. You might have your LinkedIn profile shadowing them, and that's how you sign up for virtual fairs. It also might be the way that you reach out to Oakland University alumni who are in the career you're interested in to network with the Oakland University alumni community. But in addition to protecting yourself on social media, know that anything that you post online says something about your character or what you've shared or what you've liked. So just be aware of that. But also your credit is part of it. Parking tickets, whether you pay them or someone else pays them, you make sure they're paid on time, because that's part of your reputation too. Your student record is part of it. So somebody could be excellent in taking classes, excellent in their research labs or in their jobs off campus, but if they've had a significant history of being absolutely disrespectful in the residence halls and being a problem thereof, that's something before someone becomes a physician, a dentist, a podiatrist, or a physical therapist. People want to know that as well. Your off-campus activities can say much about you. Sometimes it's the company you keep and not just what you do as an individual. Be protective about your associations or any DUIs, minor in possession. It doesn't mean that you absolutely won't be admitted to these master's or doctoral programs, but it does mean that you may have to explain some things, what you did when you were 17, 18, 19, even though you're applying and you're 22. So, between now and the end of your first semester at Oakland University, I'm encouraging you to schedule your first semester in terms of with your academic advisor, whether it's the FIAC advisor or if you're a transfer student and you're no longer a freshman, your academic advisor that you have. And you're going to make sure that you actively try to make a plan to discover what major and then what you're going to be doing. Because when you've scheduled your classes, you know your availability to engage with things off campus. Here on the side, you'll see a number of different student organizations in which you should join through your MySale and under campus events. It's called Grizz Orgs. Grizz Orgs is so important. I encourage you to engage with the student orgs, because these student orgs are the ones that are engaging on campus or virtually the different recruiters to find pre-health grizzlies to successfully apply to those programs. I encourage you, now that you've scheduled, you now know what time in your responsibilities you have to shadow someone in healthcare. No one, and I mean no one, successfully, competitively applies to master's or doctoral programs without shadowing one or two people in healthcare that have that particular profession. Many of you will choose to make sure that you volunteer or get clinical experience in a healthcare setting. For example, 3 to 5 hours a week for a year would be a good way to start your target to make sure that you have experience engaging not just with people, but sick people. There's a big difference for many people as well. You want to make sure that you are going to discover those student orgs because they are part of the best networking and opportunities for a lot of people to get leadership experience. I look forward to seeing you during quick questions on most Tuesdays and Thursdays between 2 and 4 in room 201 of Hannah Hall. If you are a pre-head student, make sure you save that date. It's Saturday, October 13th, and that will be the Michigan Medical Education Day, in which we have an Oakland University bus taking us to the on-campus conference for pre-med students and back for a day. It's a free conference on a Saturday. Oh, it definitely is going to be exciting because it's facilitated by all 7 of the medical schools here in the state of Michigan. If you are a student that is often busy because you're working and taking classes, I encourage you to attend to our pre-health workshop Wednesdays, in which we have a number of topics that tend to be about 1:15 in the afternoon. You can make sure that you engage through Google Meet. So maybe you're off campus and this is your lunch break, this 30 minutes, or maybe you're someone in which you are engaging because you're commuting and you want to listen to the different workshops that are available for you. So this summer 2018 Web Wednesdays and fall and winter, every particular semester is when we're going to have Web Wednesdays. So if you have any questions and you want to engage the coordinator of pre-professional advising, Carmen Gamlin, I encourage you to email pre-profadvising@oakland.edu. That's 248-370-4936. I look forward to engaging with you both on campus and virtually. Go Grizzlies!